From the NFL star's altercation with an employee at the Haulover Marina, to his history of violence affecting the current investigation, here's why Tyreek Hill is under criminal investigation. Looks like Hill's in trouble again, and this time the Miami-Dade Police Department's after him for a fight that took place on Sunday, the 18th of June, 2023. The Dolphins wide receiver allegedly hit an unnamed man who was an employee of one of the charter companies based at Haulover Marina. It was Father's Day, and Hill was keeping his fans up to date through Instagram stories as he celebrated on a boat. Around 6 p.m. that day, he got into an argument with an unnamed 57-year-old who represented the Kelly fishing fleet. Apparently, all the poor guy did was tell Tyreek that he couldn't board the boat without permission, and in response, Hill said, "I can buy you in the boat. I'm number 10 with the Miami Dolphins." Talk about arrogance. The employee wasn't impressed and told Tyreek that he had to follow the rules like everyone else. The NFL star got so heated, he hit the old man in the head. The poor man was only trying to tell Hill's group that they couldn't fish for tarpons from the dock because they're protected in Florida, but Tyreek didn't want to hear any of it. We still don't know if he was injured from the fight, but the Miami-Dade police weren't going to let Tyreek get away with it. Even though it's unclear whether the employee pressed charges, it's important to note that the police can pursue the case themselves, so Hill better watch out. This isn't his first run-in with the law, though. Before he became one of the biggest names in the NFL, back in 2014, when he played college football for Oklahoma State, he was accused of domestic violence. According to his then-girlfriend, Crystal Espinal, Tyreek threw her around like a rag doll, punched her in the face, and choked her. As if that wasn't heart-wrenching enough, he then punched her in the stomach, even though she was 8 weeks pregnant with his child at the time. Of course, Oklahoma State's football team dismissed him after he was arrested for the incident. He spent the night in jail and was charged with felony domestic assault and battery by strangulation. Hill pleaded guilty, and thanks to a plea deal with the DA's office, he got off with just 3 years probation. There were some other requirements, such as having to enroll in a year-long anger management course, but come on, he pretty much got off scot-free considering what he actually did. Nevertheless, he continued to live his life like nothing happened. And in 2015, he joined the West Alabama football team, where he played 1 season for the Tigers before getting drafted into the NFL in 2016. But getting drafted into the NFL wasn't the happy moment Hill always imagined it to be, because it seemed like everyone hated him. He wasn't invited to the NFL Combine, and nobody thought he'd get drafted because of the 2014 arrest. But the Chiefs were willing to take a chance on him after he ran a 4.25-second 40-yard dash on his pro day. He was recruited in the 5th round of the 2016 NFL Draft and was number 165 overall, but NFL fans were super angry he got drafted. The Kansas City general manager, John Dorsey, assured fans that the team's done their due diligence with vetting each draft class member. He said he'd never want to put the community in harm's way. And the Chiefs coach, Andy Reid, added that they're placing trust in Hill and are very comfortable with adding him to the roster. Despite that, Hill told reporters that he understood fans' concerns, saying they had every right to be mad at him. He acknowledged he did something wrong and let his emotions control him, but he assured fans that he was a changed man. He said he'd be a better citizen and a better man, and for years, it seemed like he lived up to the promise. Until 2019, of course, when he found himself in trouble once again, this time for child abuse. He allegedly left his 3-year-old son with a broken arm. And that's not even the worst bit. Remember his pregnant girlfriend who he assaulted in 2014? Yeah, this is the child she was pregnant with at the time. Now, the Chiefs knew about the incident, but wanted to let Hill keep playing while investigations were underway. Hill and his baby mama temporarily lost custody of their son, but on April 25, 2019, the DA announced that Hill and Espinal wouldn't be charged with child abuse. He clarified that a crime had occurred and the investigation was still active, but they just didn't have any evidence against Tyreek. Throughout the investigations, Tyreek maintained his innocence, saying that his son's health and happiness were his #1 priority. That definitely wasn't the case, though, because a Kansas City TV station later released a recording where Hill and Espinal are talking about the incident, and Hill doesn't know he's being recorded. The NFL star casually revealed that he'd hit his son with a belt and would punch him in the chest, when Crystal pointed out that the poor 3-year-old was terrified of him. Tyreek responded, "You need to be terrified of me too." So what was the aftermath of such horrifying confessions of child abuse? Nothing. The police were no help, and even the NFL took no action against the player, although the Chiefs suspended him indefinitely. The NFL commissioner, Roger Goodell, told media that the NFL will not be interfering with the legal decision, which allowed Tyreek to walk away a free man because there was no evidence of abuse. On the 7th of June 2019, the prosecutors confirmed that Hill won't be facing charges, and on the 19th of June, the NFL stated that they won't be suspending him. Although the NFL denied it earlier, they were now claiming that they'd been investigating the matter from the beginning and couldn't find Tyreek at fault. The NFL released a statement saying they'd been investigating the matter for over 4 months, and their primary concern was the well-being of the toddler. According to the league, the child was safe, and his ongoing care was being monitored by the Johnson County District Court and the Johnson County Department for Children and Families. I don't know about you, but the child clearly wasn't okay, and fans everywhere criticized the NFL because they weren't bound to follow the strict rules of evidence that the courts are supposed to. In fact, they were so hesitant to hold Tyreek responsible that they chose not to pursue action under the NFL personal conduct policy. Tyreek was allowed to train with Kansas City again and was able to participate in all club activities as the NFL left the judgment to the legal system, which has failed countless women and children before. At this point, fans were shocked that Tyreek was allowed to walk away, even after he used threatening language in the leaked recording when he told his fiancée, "You need to be terrified of me too." A spokesman for the NFL justified the decision by saying that the statement wasn't breaching the personal conduct policy when it was viewed in context. And as always, even after he assaulted a poor stranger, Hill's walking away scot-free. The Miami-Dade Police Department has confirmed that no criminal charges are being filed against the wide receiver, and that the police also had footage of the alleged battery, but decided the department wouldn't be filing charges. That's just the police talking though, and the victim can still pursue charges through the state attorney general's office. The Dolphins released a statement saying that they're aware of the situation and have been in contact with Tyreek and his reps and won't be making further comments on the situation. So, for now, we don't know whether Tyreek will be facing any repercussions. If he does, there's a high chance his history of violence could impact the current investigation, as Pro Football Talk's Mike Florio revealed. According to him, whatever the league can prove against Tyreek now, the punishment could get enhanced because the NFL can take the opportunity to punish Tyreek for what happened years ago. Back then, they let him walk away a free man after allegations of both domestic violence and child abuse. And now that Tyreek's aggression is extending to poor strangers, it's unlikely the NFL will sit quiet for long. He's especially likely to be given a harsh punishment if there's video footage of the incident, which according to reports, there is. Florio said that league can punish Tyreek under their personal conduct policy, even if the victim of the assault doesn't pursue the matter. Sure, it'll be more difficult if the employee doesn't want things to blow up. But according to Mike, if there's a video of the incident, it doesn't matter, and Tyreek can finally face the consequences of his actions. So, there you have it. From his history of violence affecting the current investigation to the NFL star's altercation with an employee at the Hallover Marina. That was everything you needed to know about Tyreek Hill being under criminal investigation.